Welcome back to the channel. We got what would a Donald Trump win mean for Britain? We're very close to the election, so even though I don't really get into politics, I just kind of felt like diving in, being so close and just experiencing it every day at this point in America. So it crossed my mind. I'm like, you know what? First I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder what Britain thinks about Trump or come about just anything going on in America when it comes to politics in the election right now. So I found this video. With that being said, was smoking all my dragons, divine righteous, almighty greats, overachieving, never slacking. What would a Donald Trump win mean for Britain? Original link in the description. This is from LBC. Here we go.
One thing the Prime Minister said yesterday was that these are dangerous times, and he's certainly right about that. But I think it's important not just to listen to the view from London, but to get perspectives from elsewhere. And I can't think of anybody better today to assess the global environment in which this election is taking place than the former White House Chief of Staff, Director of the CIA, and US Defense Secretary Leon Panetta. Mr. Panetta, very good to have you on the show. We have 6 weeks of this election campaign ahead of us. And, of course, a lot can happen around the world in 6 weeks. We have the very, very difficult situation in Gaza. We have a very, very fragile front line in Ukraine. And I wonder, from your perspective, where you think the biggest dangers, the biggest shocks are likely to happen.
Well, Andrew, you're absolutely right. It's a very dangerous world that we live in. And there are a number of threats, obviously, that both the United States and Great Britain are confronting. The challenge from Putin in Ukraine and the danger of having him succeed in undermining a democracy. That's a big threat. Xi in China and the threat to Taiwan, as well as other areas. North Korea having nuclear arms and a delivery capability could obviously impact on that region. And then Iran, and of course the war between Israel and Hamas.
Just all that alone is too much, honestly. Like, it's too much going on.
Which at this point is difficult to see how it ultimately ends. So there are a number of issues that are facing democracies from autocracies in the world.
Indeed.
And it's really important that whoever gets elected in Great Britain, that we maintain the alliance between the United States and Great Britain in terms of confronting these challenges.
Well, I was going to ask you, because obviously Great Britain is a much, much smaller player, a much less important economic and military power than the United States. So for a country of our size and in our position, how do you think we should best protect ourselves in this world? What should we be doing, perhaps, that we're not doing at the moment?
Well, I'm a believer in alliances. Fortunately, the United States, certainly with President Biden, has been a leader in terms of trying to bring together strong alliances to confront these challenges, particularly with regards to NATO, unifying with the United States and supporting Ukraine. I think the key, frankly, is to build those kinds of alliances. I think it's extremely important to have a strong alliance, not only in dealing with Russia, but in dealing with China and in the Middle East, to build a strong alliance of Great Britain, France, the United States, and hopefully moderate Arab countries to be able to confront both Iran and terrorism. So I really believe that the key is going to be the ability to be able to work together to confront these challenges.
And you served both President Clinton and President Obama. Those were different days. If we are going to form alliances in the future, it may very well have to be with the second Donald Trump administration in Washington. How hard is that going to be for a country like Britain?
I think it's going to be difficult because President Trump has indicated that he's opposed to the United States really providing world leadership. And that he supports an isolationist kind of approach by this country.
So, what do y'all think about that so far in Britain? With Trump's just his thoughts on I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just because I what's going through my head right now is I see this meme of Trump today, and it's like it's I don't know. I know people are like, "Why are you laughing in such a serious moment?" But it's like that's what I've been brought to. You know, in my generation, period. Like we're just kind of laughing at a lot right now because we've been our whole lives have been like preparing for a great flood.
We should have learned that lesson a long time ago that isolationism doesn't work. More importantly, he's talked about withdrawing from the world and actually undermining some of the alliances.
He wants to be real independent, which it makes sense why someone called him like a wannabe. What they call him? They said a wannabe Hitler. Was it? So I've been seeing. I mean, it's been crazy, man. American politics is wild, and even my neighbor, someone took his. He actually supports Harris, but someone came at the night and took all his signs and stole them. Like that's how wild it's been out here. People have just been in a frenzy. I mean, families just been splitting up or just being at odds. So,
That we have now. So I think a Trump administration is going to put tremendous pressure on countries like Great Britain to try to figure out how they are going to continue to come together.
100%, 100%, because Trump, he that's his energy. He's like very like we're gonna be independent. Like he said, isolation. I remember I was working at Macy's. This is before Trump became president, when he was just running, when it was just being announced that he was going to run, and people kind of thought it was a joke the first time. And there's one lady, she's like, "Man, I want to see him become president just to wreak havoc." So that's where we're at in America. People just like they're enjoying the show. Honestly, it's a show.
In order to confront the dangerous challenges that are out there, that's not going to be easy.
And it may well be one of the biggest policy headaches for any administration after this election. Can I ask you, I mean, I'm talking from a British perspective, obviously, but what is your assessment at the moment of the state of play in the American election? We've seen some very, very aggressive, very tough Biden attack ads going out at the moment, but the polls seem to still be favoring Trump.
You know, it obviously is going to be a very close election. It was the last time both of these individuals ran against each other. But my experience is it's a long, long way between here and the election in November. And I think the American people ultimately have to think long and hard whether they want a president who's going to bring chaos to the presidency or whether they want stability for the future. The problem right now is that Donald Trump, even though he would swear an oath to support the Constitution, really doesn't support the Constitution, doesn't support.
The problem is we've had nothing but chaos with pretty much everybody so far. I mean, within the last, like I said, I was born in '93. When for me, from my perspective, when has it not been chaos with anyone in office?
Support the rule of law, doesn't support free and fair elections, basically lies a lot, and is not in favor of world leadership.
Some will argue, what politician doesn't lie?
So there is going to be a tremendous choice that Americans have to make between whether America is going to govern by chaos or whether we're going to govern by leadership.
Rob Bresnahan took over his family.
To all my British followers, how y'all feel about that? If y'all been paying attention to all the chaos in America, how has this been affecting you, or have you just not really cared? Personally, me, I gotta be honest. As an American, I haven't been invested, which like majority of my generation really hasn't been invested. Like I said, we're just tired. But as things heat up more and more, definitely catching more of my eye because it's like it's going down, you know, and man, everything's like a viral clip. You know, everything's just viral. It's you look over here, it's oh Kamala's, you know, she says this, or you look over here, it's Trump says this. It's oh Kamala, she couldn't answer this question. Trump got caught lying over here. So it's almost like we're being promoted of just everybody being not trusting anyone. It's like choose your favorite poison. That's what it starts to feel like. You know, choose the best poison, and um, that's why I believe why my generation just isn't invested. We're not. You know, I said this in a video too, a vlog that I'm gonna drop. When I was born, '93, you had what Bill Clinton, the whole scandal with his wife was going on. Um, me elementary school 9/11 happens. I'm watching that from a first grade classroom. We had Katrina. I mean, we it was just so much in my generation alone. Just feel like we tired. We don't know what to really believe too much. But you know, everyone has their points. I guess it's just we'll see what happens. But as far as out in Britain, I wonder if that isolation would make it harder for people to travel to and from Britain. Um, yeah, like I mean to America from Britain, and but like I wonder if that isolation, if he would get that strict to where it would be more like he would feel like people have to be high alert more from other places, other countries, other territories. So that would be interesting. But with that being said, original link in the description, and I'm looking forward to the comments and on how you guys feel about everything that's going on in America right now. I'll be back with more soon. Much love.